Hey, Sarge. So, yep, welcome to the new FMAC.
Hey, thanks. Oh, FMAC. What does FMAK stand for?
Well,
I'm the
give it
fucking
a
voice of
give it a
reason
minute,
around here,
Sarge.
and you've
I
got
think
me
it'll come
pissed
to you.
off.
Oh, hello to absolutely nobody. It is almost August the 1st, the Tuesday night at around 10:50. Jeez, what time is it? So, and I decided to come in, and there is nobody else around. Oh, there's Steve. I am wrong. There is somebody else around. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Good to see you. Of course, for you, it really is August. How was your day today? Good, good. Oh, well, I'll tell you. Oh, that's right. I think Kiwi was in earlier today and said it was raining over there where he was. I'll tell you, I don't know what was going on with my brain today. I came and I set this up to go live for 10:45, and I looked back a little later and it was said August 31st instead of July 31st. So then I set it up again, and instead of 10:45 it was 11:45, and I'm just all screwed up. Nope, I am well rested and I have coffee. So Steve, you have the floor. What do you want to talk about? Yeah. Oh, I forgot to put that back in. I'm having trouble seeing the screen. I guess my eyes haven't woke up. Have I copies about words that I use that are okay here, but offend your country? Well, I know one word that I know the Brits and Aussies use a lot, and I assume they use there too. That begins with a C that I absolutely hate, and I know they use it a little differently than most people use it here. I don't know what other Kiwi words there might be that sound offensive to us. Just said I'm wide awake and then I yawn. Are you typing up a list of words, Steve? It's gone very quiet here in FMAC country. Ooh. YouTube must have blocked it. It didn't come up in the YouTube chat or in the StreamYard chat. A lot of times something might not show in YouTube, but it comes up over in the StreamYard. The last thing I saw where you had the thing where you said about words that you use. Nothing came after that. I'll tell you, we've had a lot of times lately when people will say things like, "Why do you keep blocking me? Why do you keep blocking me?" We're like, we have no idea what you're talking about. I remember the one time somebody was very adamant that we were blocking what they were posting, and I showed the StreamYard side, and it showed their post over here, but over on the YouTube side, it wasn't showing. Hello, Bill. And I've actually had it happen to me, and I will look at what I posted and have no idea what they object to. Yep, it seems that whatever Steve wanted to talk about, YouTube must have a Kiwi translator that said you're not going to put those words out on the air. Because I know we don't have any kind of settings here that filter certain words or any of that. So like I suggest someone a red feature wall that would look nice, and they went crazy saying I'd suggest they unalive themselves. A red feature wall? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, but I certainly don't understand why someone would think that was a suggestion for suicide. Some people tend to make up reasons to get offended, I think. Yeah. So they thought you were saying like blood red or something. well, the other words mean words. Feels foul, filthy. Thing with Sarge is we don't know if he's using the wrong foul on purpose or not. Uh, I think a fowl is all kind of birds, not just domesticated. Yes, Sarge, that would be the other fowl when you say foul language. GMC. Nope. As usual here, there is no stated topic. Every once in a while we will have one. Hello, Steve Abick over in my chat. No, that's the starting topic, Sarge. When it was still the two of us, I was telling Steve how much trouble I had just doing a simple thing like setting up the live. When I first tried to set it up for 10:45, and then I realized it said 10:45 August 31st. And then I changed that, and I noticed it said 11:45 July 31st. So I see the Steve over on my chat. His last name is ABQ, and he's from Albuquerque. And if I lived in Albuquerque, I'd be telling people just write out ABQ also. Hello, Donna. And now Steve Cousins is going to arm wrestle Sarge for supremacy of who is the center of the universe. And then the winner takes on Donna, and we'll lose to her. And yes, that is a very nice cup of coffee. Thank you all for asking. Hey, it said the flavor on that one was something like Vermont maple. And I don't mind telling you, Sarge, for a second there, I was trying to figure out what kind of a dirty word you were saying. And Steve from Albuquerque. I know I said hello to you, but I'd like to welcome you here. I don't think I've seen you in our chat before. You'll notice I'm talking to other people. That's because most people come in on Sarge's channel, and they're all over in his chat right now. Yeah, I figured it out then, Sarge. It just took me a couple of seconds. Yeah, I saw Bill saying hi to Donna. I'm pretty sure I said hello to him when he came in earlier. Let me see something here. Do, 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 do. Steve from Albuquerque. This is Sarge's channel where most of the people are at. Mirrors is not here right now, but you've got the right place. Mirrors does come here. If he told you about this place, he may be on his way. Hello, Kuza. Snuck by while I was doing something else, but I caught you. Yeah, my eyes are funny, Steve. Sometimes I can sit back in my chair and read just fine, and other times it's a little blurry for me. I did have quite a long nap earlier, and maybe my eyes are still waking up. I did put the link for Sarge's channel over in my channel, in case Steve from Albuquerque wants to come over and dirty his hands with the rest of you. But he is certainly welcome to stay by himself down there and not have to deal with people of the type that often come into Sarge's channel. I am not looking at you, Bill. I am not looking at you. So I haven't been watching, so somebody tell me, how badly did America kick ass in the Olympics today? Bill says, for Sarge, for me, it's close. Day starts too early and gets too hot too quickly. But Bill also says that he is invisible. And I know you guys can't see them, but there are now like 10 people over in my chat. And they're all saying it's much nicer over there. And they like that I keep the place clean. As opposed to Sarge, who doesn't even know what a dust rag is for. People who usually come to Sarge's channel are usually reasonable adults. Well, now, Donna, I think the people over in my channel would disagree with that. Oh, Sarge. You know what this means? Channel war. A Ukrainian guy was kicking ass in gymnastics. I don't know if that should be allowed. I don't know, Sarge. My channel may be small, but it is scrappy. Your channel may have experience on its side, but my channel has youth and energy. You just wait. I'm not going to do anything about it now, but very often Nerdy Joe comes in on my channel. Once she gets here, we're coming after you. And Sarge is now arguing with himself, and this is why my channel will win, because his channel has an insane leader. And time I look the strays in, and it goes sideways. Donna, please don't call Sarge cute. He's already got too big of a head. The man has to order all his hats in Mayo Saint Tung size. The other day when I got upset is not just what it said that day, but because she don't know. Oh, hello, Mirrors. By the way, Mirrors chose the cleaner channel to come in on. My channel is getting bigger, Sarge. You might want to just give up now and save what you can. Well, I do not think I will do that. My channel has spoken, Sarge. I'm telling you. As soon as Nerdy Joe shows up. I even have my own Australian core, so you don't have that over me. Ha! Little do you know, we wear loafers. I will say my channel may be a little confused because Steve is from Albuquerque. Then again, what kind of a war chant would Albuquerque, Albuquerque, Albuquerque be? So I notice your channel got awful quiet, Sarge. I think they know that you're leading them down a road they don't want to go. And Donna remembers when she was a child that the people she came over on the boat with wore buckles on their shoes. Ah, the Mirrors has replied to the chant. Oh, well, that's right. For a second, I was thinking Steve was the Aussie. I was going to say he got my Mayflower reference, and then I remembered he is an American, mostly. I told you, Sarge, you don't see mirrors because he has joined the good side. Then again, does anybody ever see mirrors? Because, if you look at a mirror, you see yourself and the things behind you. You never really see the mirror. Steve Albuquerque says that he had relatives on the Mayflower. He's not sure if Donna was one of them. And mirrors is now reflecting on my comment about mirrors. So he may just become totally lost in himself. That may hurt my chances of in the channel war. If my people start going all zen on me. I'm not quite sure what the second part of Steve's sentence meant. Now, the Muckster Steve says that Mirrors is quite the photographer. I did not know that. Ah, yep. Totally missed that, Steve. Totally missed that. Mirrors, the people in the other chat, I believe, are now mocking you by starting to put everything backwards. Donna says she may be old, but neither she nor any of her relatives were on the Mayflower. I got that wrong. Donna was waving to them from the shore. Steve over in the Good Channel says his relatives on the Mayflower were named Knapp with a K. This is quite the scintillating conversation. I often wonder at times like this, oh, is it we don't have 100 people in here? I'll see. Now, Steve over in the dark channel says he creaks when he moves, and that's why my channel will eventually win because we are young and vibrant. Sarge's channel is old and crickety. The good Steve also says that Mirrors is an awesome detective. I'm starting to worry about the channel war now because my channel seems to be busy just complimenting each other. Please tell me, Mr. Muckster, are you trying to mock or make fun of me? What have I done to you? I'm just messing around, Donna. Hello, Dirt Guy. See, now it makes sense that somebody named Dirt Guy would end up over in Sarge's channel. Yeah, Albuquerque Steve, we will not be discussing that. Hello, Christine. Welcome back. 2 days in a row, you're almost a regular now. Well, Sarge, actually, I asked Christine to stop in your channel because you're going to be needing a nurse whenever the channel war starts. I'm telling you right now, it all balances on which channel Nerdy Joe decides to come in on. I believe Christine is now becoming a double agent. Well, New Zealand, Steve, yeah, there may be 13 over in Sarge's, but I think there's about 35 over in my channel right now, if I count correctly. Mirrors corrected me. I must have forgot to count myself. Why, thank you, Donna. Now in New Zealand, Steve is pretending he has enough hair to brush. I think this whole channel war is getting serious. You okay, Bill? We'll see you. Thanks for stopping in. I will remind people that the link is out there if anybody wants to actually come on up here and talk. Hey, Mucks, every time you and Swords go live, I always stop in. Right, okay, thumbs up. Sometimes I just don't stay because I don't have thing to add to some convos. I rarely have anything to add to a convo, but that doesn't keep me quiet. Hello, Dale. How you doing today? Or I should say, how was your day? The Aussies and Kiwis are just in the middle of their day, and they've been enjoying a cold, rainy August already. So, while I have you here, I will remind people that if you haven't, subscribe to the FMAC podcast channel. I can't imagine why you haven't already, but if you have not watched Jocelyn's story from Sunday, you really missed out. And you're going to want to watch it before she comes to pick it up again for part 2. Yeah, I saw they were live, Dale, and I did wander by and give them a like, but YouTube will not let me watch live programming still. It always times out on me. I've tried clearing my cache and all that stuff on the browser. I have restarted my computer, and that helped with some other problems I was having, but I cannot watch live shows. I like Cliff and Nikki over at the Vigilance Committee. They do good work. And they are friends of ours over here. They often stop in. I have a lot of fun making fun of Mr. Nicky. But they're fun to joke around with because they know it's all joking. Yeah, trouble is I can't watch stuff that was recorded live either. Maybe tomorrow or something I'll open up a StreamYard room and get Sarge to stream it to me. That's about the only way I can watch live shows is if I watch somebody else streaming them. And yeah, Steve, Nikki and Stephanie are nice people. You know, I keep forgetting to try on my laptop. That might work. Maybe I'll get that out tomorrow and try. I did try different browsers, but that didn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I will note to everybody that, as you can see, Sarge has gone quiet. I think he's afraid. He's left you all alone. Whenever the channel war comes, you will not have a leader. Yeah, Dale, the problem is if it's something in my computer, how would I ever find what it is? It could be Steve. He is old. The only thing I've downloaded lately is that game I've been playing, but I'm pretty sure the YouTube thing didn't happen right after that. If it had happened right after, then I'd figured that had done something. I tried that too, Steve. That was Ariel's suggestion. Well, yeah. Yeah, I uninstalled and reinstalled YouTube. Hey, Cart. Now, Cart came in on the good channel over there. Cart says she will be in and out before she gives it up for the day. She's another one of those down under people. We're always glad to see her. She comes in quite regular. We've had some interesting conversations. Carp lives out in the middle of nowhere, but that is not too unusual for Australia, I think. America's a pretty big place, but Australia does have a awful lot of empty space. She's quite the farmer. Oh, getting a bit of a lag. I'll see comments come up over in Sarge's chat, and it takes a while to get over here to StreamYard. Now, see, I know there is that natural competition between the Kiwis and Aussies. That's why my team only has Aussies, because I know that that Sarge's team will crumble from within. And now all chats have come to a standstill. The tension in the air is becoming palpable. No, 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 Nerdy Joe came in on the wrong channel. That's it. You can come back, Sarge. I surrender. I told you he was hiding, folks. Little does he realize I tricked him with a Nerdy Joe sock. Hey, I'm on TV. Hey, Sarge, we all know how hard you work. Hey, are you working hard or hardly working hard, hard, hard? And yes, Nerdy, it is always good to see you. Nerdy's another one of those people that I think found us pretty early on in our little experiment. I wish I could go back and see some of our early chats. Seems like some people I've been seeing their names for a long time. I will say things have gotten awful quiet over in my chat. Not looking good for the home team. Well, Sarge, just remember, if things get really bad, I've got this on my side.
I'm the fucking voice of reason around here, and you've got me pissed off.
Of course, I'll have to wait about 7 hours until he gets out of bed, but well, it wasn't really a competition. Nerdy, Sarge was saying that people in his channel were prettier than the people in my channel, and I said it all depends on which channel Nerdy comes in on. That will swing the balance. And unfortunately, you came in on the wrong channel. There you go. Once again, Sarge, my natural charm and wit have won the day. Nerdy, now you can probably no longer see Sarge's chat, but he said he understands and that he has no hard feelings. And I believe he also said the better man won. And it was all, he used an acronym, but I'm pretty sure that's what that all means. Yes, folks, it will soon be August in the civilized part of the world. And once again, I do remind that the link is up there. I appreciate people coming in, but I can only do a solo for so long. By the way, has anybody seen Danny in any other channels lately? I know she'd been working overtime. Hope she's doing okay. Yeah, nerdy, and I must say that I got caught up in some of the crap for a while, shall we say. And I am sorry about that because we always wanted this channel to be a place where anybody could come, no matter what other channels they also go to, or whatever strange countries they come from that have more sheep than people. We even allow people from Florida. Mhm. Okay, you mean you didn't see Jocelyn's live from uh, Sunday, Dale? Yeah. And I know, folks, I keep talking about it, about the podcast channel and about Jocelyn telling her story Sunday, but just a self-promotion type thing. I honestly think it was a great show. Okay, Dale, you mean you just didn't see anything live right now? Yeah. Yeah. So far, Jocelyn is the only story we've done. And boy, it was a good one. Uh, I'll throw that up there again, but really, that's Jocelyn's story. We really just go to the FMAC podcast channel. And I encourage you, and again, this isn't about just promoting our channel. I encourage you to subscribe to it, especially if you liked Jocelyn's story, because then you're much likely to see a notification for when she does part 2. Plus, we do have other people that are going to be doing their stories there. Um, the thing is, it's funny that we set up a separate channel for that, because when me and Sarge first got together, that's a lot of the same kind of stuff we talked about wanting to do. Hello, Carrie. It's always good to see you. Um, we kicked around a lot of ideas, and we just we never followed up on that particular thing until recently. But I like what we do here too, and that's why we set up a separate thing. Because we're going to leave this sort of more free-willing. We every once in a while we'll have a subject here that we talk about, but usually it's like a potluck dinner. we come in and a lot of times like me and Sarge might be here talking, Ariel or Killen or whoever might be here, and we're talking about one thing, and somebody grabs the link and they come up and we start a whole nother topic, and that's great. All we want for this place is that people come here and be respectful to each other. You know, you can disagree, but just try not to get too out of hand. Harry, is he still having trouble breathing? Okay, sir. Carrie, well, thanks for stopping in. Oh, okay. Gotcha. And Carrie, I imagine you've got all your stuff moved to the new place by now, I hope. Of course, it pretty much takes forever to totally get moved into a new place. But sleep well, Carrie. I hope everything goes well. Now, Nuri over in the other channel was having a conversation, mentioned she gets up at 3:30 a.m. And I just want to say that would be 6:30 a.m. over here in the civilized world, and that is still too early for me. Although I know other people like that, they'll say things like, oh, I was up until 3 a.m. And I say, well, you should have called because I wasn't in bed yet. The other day, Kurt and Nerdy were bonding over their familiar lifestyles, although one of them has to deal with snow and the other one has to deal with scorpions and killer koalas. But other than that, they're pretty much the same. You people can't see it, but they are bonding over their mutual goofiness. That's what we do here at FMAC. We bring people together. We'll probably see you tomorrow, Dale. Dale, sorry. Carrie. Don't even know how I got those names. Oh, okay. That's why I was looking at Carrie's thing and it said, see you, Dale. Now, I don't mind telling you, Nerdy, that Sarge is probably listening right now. So I don't want to mention to him that you're down there in the other channel discussing his nipples, because that may embarrass him. Killen did it too. Are you saying that Killen also discussed Sarge's nipples? Now, this is getting a little disturbing. I will pledge this to you folks right now. You will never hear me discuss Sarge's nipples. Ah, that's when Sarge foolishly said, "Ask me anything." Of course, I will say I also have said you can ask me anything you want, and I will answer every question. I can't say I will answer them all honestly, and some of my answers may just be a cold, icy stare, but you can ask whatever you want. Now, Carrie, I do have to say that 5 I am leaving is pretty much our limit here. You're starting to sound like my sister when we're on the phone. We start saying goodbye about 45 minutes before we actually hang up. Nerdy is disappointed that Sarge never really did fully explain his nipples. Dale, you are such a foolish man. You did not even realize that Cart had just gone to the dark channel to gather information for the light. I probably should not have said that out loud. No, I do believe it is time to change my manner. Welcome to August, everybody. Yeah, I know. You down under people are saying, we've been here waiting for you. I'm sorry we're a little slow. So, Steve, tell us this. Is August looking any better than July was? And Cart has now come back to the light. She is in my channel telling us all the intelligence she found over in the dark side. And she pretty much summed it up in 5 words, folks. I'm afraid she did not find a whole lot of intelligence over there. Nerdy has welcomed Cart back with open arms. They're now over there laughing at the other channel. I can't say I approve of that. I mean, I do approve of that, but I can't say it. It's a good thing Ariel's not here tonight because he might have opened up his channel too, and we would have just had chaos. And let me just say, while most of you are still here, because I usually don't say it till I'm getting ready to close up for the night, I appreciate you all coming in. It's always great seeing people and talking and having some fun. Dale, are you leaving? I missed it if you said so. I don't know if that was just an in general enjoy or if that was a enjoy yourself. I'm out of here. Today was Wednesday, right? Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. Oh, no, Dale. Nope, sorry. No, what I was saying was I usually don't thank everybody for coming until I am getting ready to leave. And a lot of times by then, a large number of the people have been here and left. So I just wanted to mention it while most people were still here, that I truly do appreciate everybody coming in. And a lot of times I feel funny saying it because people say that and they don't mean it. But I actually do mean it. I like coming in here and having people join and talking and maybe having a little fun, getting to know each other. Of course, sometimes the more you get to know somebody, the less you like them, but that's the risk you run. Yeah, that's why I need I do try to appreciate everybody that comes here, Dale. Some people make it a little hard, but they usually don't stay around long. Sometimes they get mad and go away, and sometimes one of us hits a button that makes them go away. I am not going to mention which one of us tends to do that more than the other three, but it does happen. Donna can tell you, if she's still here, that we had a guy, I think it was just last night, that I have given several chances to come in and come up on the panel and talk. And he just doesn't seem to get it when I ask him not to be constantly swearing. And so I had to give him the boot. I have actually banned him 3 or 4 times now, and I relented and let him back because I actually kind of like the guy when he's sober, but this was the last time. He's not coming back because he just doesn't fit here. I'm sorry. It's a weird thing to say when we like to say we welcome everybody, but yeah, we welcome you as long as you don't wear out your welcome, I guess. I'm not sure what Steve said sorry about. I think I missed something, but whatever it was, Steve, I forgive you. I had a nice nap today. I'm in a forgiving mood. Yeah, that's what we have different people that say that, Dale, that they come here for the relaxed atmosphere. I know most, if not all of you, do spend a lot of time in other places where it's a lot more active, shall we say. I used to actually, I, I guess, really, my first real experience on with a panel, or at least one I was regular on, was a place that loved to have drama and chaos. And I got sucked into that for a little while, and I'm glad I don't do that anymore. And if that's what people want, there's plenty of channels out there on YouTube. As a matter of fact, whenever I checked the statistics, there are over 51 million YouTube channels. Now, granted, they say that, and a lot of channels would be just like a lot of you have, where you just made an account so that you can go and visit places and be able to be in chat, but still, there are millions of active channels out there, and so people can go and find one that suits them. And I notice Dale says now that Sarge is gone, there are intelligent people in chat. And there's another conversation going on over in my chat. I'll just say, Cart, I also finally cut the cord on my landline. I think it was last November now. I do not miss it whatsoever. Although I hung on to mine for a while because around here, for a long time, it was hard to get a cell signal. I used to have to go out and drive up to the top of the hill and sit in the parking lot of a convenience store if for some reason I wanted to use my cell phone. Okay, mirrors, I won't dig into that comment very far. Guys, I got to tell you, even though I'm sitting here looking at chat, I'm really only catching about every fifth one or so. So a lot of times I'm not quite sure what's going on. For instance, I have no idea what Dale said to make Cart blush. That is a good question, Nerdy. Wonder why they can't call to a cell phone. I'm sure there's some sort of reasoning behind that. And yes, I'm going to go ahead and just keep referring to conversation in other channels, and the people in the channel I'm not talking to won't know what the heck I'm saying because I do not say what's going on. But, that's just all part of the mystery here. Ah. Welcome back, Nerdy. For those of you not in my chat, Nerdy had to take a 5-minute break. There was a moose out in her yard eating her vegetables, and she had to go out there and wrestle it to the ground and teach it a lesson. She is back now. Now, Dale, I'm not sure I like that you say I'm just rambling again. I would prefer that people would say I am rambling still. Yeah, really nerdy. Nerdy does not like moose meat. I think I had moose once. It didn't seem all that different from other venison I've had. I could be wrong. Now I will say, but I've certainly have had a lot of it because of where I live. I'm not the biggest fan of venison. I like a good venison roast when it's made right, and people make some good venison like sausage, and they mix it with other stuff. But I'm not one of those people that likes deer chops and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. Suppose maybe the moose is more muscular, and that's why it's different. I don't know. I'm not a big expert on muscles. Well, here we go again. First, Cart and Nerdy were bonding over their farming and their remote living. Then they bonded over their goofiness, and now they're bonding over food. See, now you're bringing me into it. They're nerdy because I do love seafood, especially all the like shellfish, shrimp, crab, lobster, clam, depending on how they're cooked. Not big on mussels, I must say. Ah, nerdy, I'm afraid that joke is older than you. Actually, been a while since I've had lobster. I was once I was out on Kodiak Island once, and this guy had been deer hunting, and he had a whole pile of deer in his pickup truck, and you couldn't even tell he had any back there. They were so small. No, hello, broken bones. I don't know who Broken Bones is. I have my doubts that he's going to fit in already. Oh, oysters. Yeah, I don't think I mentioned oysters, did I, Cart? Deep fried oysters. Man, my father used to do beer battered. Now, I am not one of those people, and I've seen people do it. That will take an oyster in the shell and just slurp them down raw. Now, Broken, I hate to make snap judgments on people. You may be a perfectly fine person, but I will tell you that I am not very tolerant of trolls and people who act like children. Morton de Bay Bug, I do not know what that is, but Mirrors does. Okay, who was Cart flirting with? If it wasn't me, I am hurt. I must say, I do need to be a little slower in judgment. I have this tendency when somebody comes in with a name I haven't seen before, and they start off with a stupid comment, and I figure that's all they're about. Oh, Cart, I haven't been paying close enough attention. So no, I've missed No, broken bones. See, now you're the one being judgmental. I think everybody here can tell you that if I was actually upset, you wouldn't still be here. The way you talk and your movements would suggest you have something wrong health-wise. Okay, Dr. Bones, whatever you say. Look at me being all nice people. Let's see. Now let me get back to more important things like cart I'm trying to figure out. Hmm. Cart, I don't see the song lyrics thing. Okay, nerdy. Stuff. Chime back in anytime you want. Ah. See, now you can tell I'm in a good mood, folks, because usually I'd have just kicked him out by now just for being annoying and thinking that he's clever or something, but I don't know. The great thing about Nerdy, you guys don't realize it, she was just saying goodbye over in the other channel, but she's another one of those people that fits right in because her goodbyes often do not last very long. She'll say, I'm signing out of here and just going to lurk. And then about 20 minutes later, she'll have to come in and say something. Just one of the many reasons we love our Nerdy Joe. Thank you, Nerdy Joe. I think you're a wonderful person too and good looking. I'm pretty sure that's what you just said to me. So see, no, broken bones. Yes. I mean, why would you want to stay in a place where you don't fit in. That just sounds stupid. Oh well, for me to stay, I have to fit in. Well, duh, as the kids say today. I don't know. I've mentioned before I'm a recovering Catholic, but back when I used to go to church, I would have thought it was weird for somebody to come to Catholic Mass and say, well, I'm a Methodist. Are you saying that I don't fit in here? Now, Cart, this is. Oh, there, you change it to Americans. I was going to say, that this channel is based in America, so we do not talk about foreigners here. We talk about foreigners. All them damn foreigners. You got all them people coming in here wanting to take our good jobs cleaning toilets and picking fruit. Hey, there you go, Dale. Let's arrange that. Let's, we'll pick next Wednesday or something, and everybody will be Aussies all day. It'll be Aussie Day. We'll even make Steve and those other Kiwis pretend to be Aussies for a day. Everybody will put Australian flags in their names. We'll all pretend that our families were criminals. And we'll spend the day talking about ruse and things like that. Oh, we just came in from surfing. Dale, every once in a while you have a good idea. That's right, Steve. You will be assimilated. Guys, I'm not sure, but I think our new friend Broken Bones may have left. I swear I hit no buttons. No, Steve, I see you mentioned Dale being drunk. And I have to say, I actually never thought that Dale drank until the one day he came in sober. Welcome back, Donna. Oh, yeah, you didn't miss a whole lot. What did you miss? Well, we did have the channel war while you were gone, and because Sarge didn't have you on his side, the Muckster channel did win. And now you must all bow down to me. We had a very, very minor troll wander through. What else? What else, folks? Oh, he's still here. Okay, cool. And you do notice when I said we had a troll here, he says, "No, I'm still here." Let's see, Nerdy and Cart. We're bonding some more. And I'm not even joking about that. I love the fact we were talking about the other night when there was just a couple of us here, how Nerdy and Cart live on opposite sides of the world in places you would think they have nothing at all in common, and yet they still pretty much, it's like they're sisters. I gotta tell you, folks, I used to envy Killen when I'd see him come in the morning sometimes, and he'd start a live, and he'd be able to sit there all by himself and talk to chat, because I was never all that comfortable doing a solo. I'm getting to like it more and more. You guys are easy to sit here and talk to because mostly I think you ignore everything I say and just have your own thing going on. Steve knows what I mean. He's a preacher, and I'm sure he's used to people ignoring everything that he says. Well, see now, Bones, if you'd have started off talking like that, nobody would think you were coming in just to troll. I mean, that's a legitimate question. What is this channel about? And basically, we're about nothing if you look at it one way. Hello, Kuza. It's open discussion. We accept people of all types as long as they come in and can be respectful to each other. Sometimes we talk on certain subjects. Sometimes we just come in and chat. But the whole idea of this channel is for people to be able to just come in and talk to each other and relax from all those other channels out there that love drama and trolling and actually do nothing but sit around and make fun of other channels. So you could say that's what this channel is about, is trying to be a little bit of an oasis in the tiny, I'd say a tiny oasis in the huge shit show that most of us see on YouTube. Does that answer your question? And since you are new, I will explain to you that I am Muckster. I am one of 4 people that run this channel. We have Finkel, Ariel, and Killentime. We've started referring to ourselves in some situations as FMAC because we have a separate channel set up, FMAC Podcast, where we just started doing one-on-one interviews with people, although they're not really interviews. We just have people come in and tell their stories. So that's another thing we're about is listening to people and hearing what they have to say. Unless they come in and annoy me, then we don't hear them very long. But that's me. The other guys are much more tolerant. If you'd have come in while one of the other three was here and I wasn't, this whole conversation might have gone a different way. Yeah, see, broken bones, even when I try to be nice and explain to you, now you still got to come back with a little snark. Four people for one channel. Gee whiz. I appreciate your retort there, Cart. Diversity is a great thing, Dale. Although I must say, there's an old saying I never really subscribed to when people would say, it takes all kinds. And I say, no, I think there are many kinds we can do without. It's just that we're pretty much stuck with them because I know in my case, my backyard just isn't big enough to hide all the bodies. There's many channels like that, Bones. I mean, there are, I think probably the most common thing is one person has a channel and sometimes they'll bring in co-host and so forth. But yeah, our channel, and it actually didn't start off this way, but it is a four-way partnership. Um, we all kind of have our own ideas and stuff, but we agree on the basic principles. Hey, Biscuits, now where the hell have you been? You know you're late. We've talked about this. Oh, I totally forgot I meant to send out a text earlier. And just as I looked at my phone, I gotta tell, I know, guys, I'm obsessing over this, but I just saw a message from somebody on Facebook that thanked me for telling them to watch Jocelyn's story. Anyway, I'm going to mute for a second so I can send. Okay. Well, now, Biscuits, I cannot answer all your questions on the first time. Did I say biscuits? I meant bones. So, Bones, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? No details, of course, but just a little thing if you wanted to say what you do for a living or whatever, what part of the world you live in. Well, Biscuits, what was a genius part was when Killen came up with Sarge's avatar. So then, of course, I had to follow suit, and I just kept liking the image of people coming in later and seeing 4 Sarges up on the panel. But yeah, and I obviously didn't plan anything. I actually did this morning. I knew I wouldn't have a lot of time. I decided to come in live, and I thought I'd just hang out for a half hour or so and then say, okay, guys, I got to leave. So I didn't even tell the other guys I was going live. Because usually when I'm going live, I'll send out a text saying, hey, I'm going live at 11:30 or whatever. But then Sarge joined just before I had to leave. So I just stuck him with the panel for a while. Oh, no, Donna's really getting down to the nitty gritties. But I don't mind telling you, Donna, since it's on my Facebook and out there in public for other people, and it's not that big of a deal. My birthday is January 6th. And that means I am a Capricorn. But I do not believe in astrology, just like most Capricorns. Oh, I obviously missed a bad pun. I must find that. I do like bad puns. I have electricity running through my veins, and it's more than 240 volts. Yeah, that's a interesting question, only to me. But for you down under folks, what is the standard voltage you use? In America, I think they used to always claim it was 117. It's actually 110, 240 for large appliances. And I saw that, is that what Cart said, 240? Because I know, like England, they use a different voltage, and people have to get adapters when they go over there so they can charge their phone or whatever. By the way, now that Dawn is back, that's a whole nother country we have represented. We had, of course, America, New Zealand, Australia, and Alaska. Now Dawn is here from Texas. And folks, I just realized Sarge has been awful quiet. It might be that he's actually had to earn his paycheck tonight. Is that what standard house current is, 240? Although I must say, as somebody who studied that sort of thing about 120 years ago, I said that wrong. House current wouldn't be 220 or 240. That is volts, that is power. Current is measured in amperes, and there's the drop knowledge on you folks. He was a sergeant in the Army. Yes, Bones? I forget how many years he was in the Army. He was in the Navy, then he was in the Army, and he did reach the rank of sergeant. If you come back again and you see him here, you'll hear people calling him either Sarge or Finkel. Because when he comes in his name, we'll probably say Old Sarge Finkel. Yeah, Steve. Now, see, that's here. I'll keep dropping all this useless knowledge on folks. That's what our power lines that run down the streets, and I wish they'd put them underground, because I noticed when I would go out and be doing photographs, all those stupid electric poles just make things look ugly. But anyway, the power running through those lines is 440. It gets split when it comes to the house down to 220. And when it actually gets to your house, it's split again. Like I say, it's like 110 for all your small appliances and your lamps and stuff like that. But then you got some of the larger appliances, like say a washing machine, that will run on the 240. I'm now waiting for Dale to say that is some shocking information, Muckster. Now Cart wants to know if they have circuit breakers in New Zealand that will shut down the power immediately. I know when I was a kid, a lot of places still had the little screw-in glass fuses rather than circuit breakers, so that if there was a power surge or whatever, there was a little filament in that glass fuse that would burn out, and people would have to go and change the fuses. Now I think pretty much everybody has circuit breakers. Yeah, biscuits, there's that. And also, I remember people, now luckily my parents were not this stupid, but when people had a fuse that would keep burning out a lot, instead of getting an electrician to figure out what was wrong with that particular circuit in their house, they would get around it by taking a copper penny and having that in the hole and screwing the fuse, the burned out fuse, back in there to hold the penny in place. And the penny would then keep that circuit open. Now, this just shows that there are a lot of stupid people out there, because the whole idea of the fuse burning out is to keep your house from catching on fire. You put that penny in there, and if there is some sort of a surge going on or whatever's going on, that means you might just be heating up your wires or that penny or something until it starts a fire. And I can tell you, as a one-time volunteer fireman, the worst fires to try to get put out are the ones that start inside of a wall. And you can imagine what happens if that Fire starts at 2 o'clock in the morning when everybody's asleep. Yeah, Dale, I know that's what, like in school, they always said that the standard was 117, but it seems like everything goes more at the 110. Yeah, biscuits, they put in a fuse. It's supposed to be a 25 amp circuit, and they put in a 40 to keep it from burning. Yeah, it's like people don't think about what the purpose of these things are. It's a safety thing. You know, that's like, bypassing a fuse or a circuit breaker is like taking the brakes out of your car because they tend to slow you down. Let's see, Bergamo's knob and tube wiring worked well. Well, dangerous for someone that has no respect for electric power. Mux, if a child was to put a knife into a working toaster, the power to the kitchen will immediately shut down. And yes, the person who stuck that knife in there would be sorry. I can remember when I was in junior high, which I know most of you call middle school, guys used to think that it was a lot of fun to take a piece of copper wire and you would roll it around a pencil so that you then had two prongs sticking out, and they'd take that pencil and shove it into a plug and make a big spark and, usually blow a fuse. And I don't know, I've said this before. There are few creatures on the face of the earth stupider than the male human, anywhere from the time they begin to grow hair in places other than their head up until like 25 or later. Okay, 114 to 126. Of course, I imagine way back when they first started bringing electricity into houses, they probably had no kind of safety precautions whatsoever. They would just be running wires to a house. I wonder when they first started doing fuses and such. I suppose if I wanted to expend the energy, I could ask the old Google machine. But that seems like that would require typing and, reading. It's mandatory to test your electric box every year. We don't have anything like that around here. Imagine what you call the electric box is what we call the circuit breaker box. Now, see, Bones, if you're still around, this is just the sort of scintillating conversation you can expect here at any time. Maybe tomorrow we will talk about the fact that even though they're called 2x4s, they're more like 1.5 by 3.5 or something. I'm not sure what the actual standard is now. Okay, Donna. Thanks for stopping in, and please be well, Donna. Oh, and Donna, I don't. Don't expect you to answer now, but I would like you to let me know how things go if you had that test or not, how it went. I hope you get things together. Biscuits used to build bridges. I don't know how far back you go in Biscuits, but yeah. Over the years, a lot of things like that have changed. Don is another one of the people that found us very early on and has stuck with us. And I appreciate that. Even though I think she tends to get annoyed at me sometimes, but I guess she probably sticks around for Sarge. And I know the rest of you are saying, how could anybody possibly ever get annoyed at Muck? "13-year-old lass who was outside playing with the hose and a faulty incoming electric came together and she, was put into a wheelchair with brain damage." Yeah, I guess that would tend to make people start thinking more about what the safety precautions should be. Yeah, there are some things that we do as a society that is, if you will, forgive the term, overkill when we try to make things too safe. But then again, there are things like that there's a perfectly good reason for it. I mean, I often get a kick out of warning labels, when it'll say things like, do not carry this toaster into the tub with you or whatever. Or, caution, this product may contain peanut oil, and it's on the side of a can of peanuts, things like that. But some safety precautions are a good idea. This is true also, Biscuits. Society has got much more litigious. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, that's a real one, Steve. Don't use the iron while wearing the shirt. Yep. I will say, Biscuits, when I was a kid, my oldest brother played football. And he was playing a game and he broke his leg. And they carried him off the field on a board that was laying around by the, I forget what the building is called now. But anyway, they imagine that you broke your leg and they're carrying you off the field on a board. Now, if that was to happen today, that kid's parents would probably sue the school for $1 million and end up settling, for $10,000 plus medical expenses or something like that. And you know what my father did? He bought the school a stretcher so that it wouldn't happen to another kid. That was back in the days where around here, our ambulances were just, what did they call them? I think like scoop and run. All the ambulances around here were, of course, attached to volunteer fire companies. And the ambulance people had first aid, but not really any kind of advanced training. Of course, over time, started people training to be EMTs and paramedics and that. So ambulances are better equipped to help people rather than just run as fast as they can to a hospital where they could get real help. Yeah, biscuits. Asbestos, the miracle fiber. There you go, Steve. That is the healthy way to treat this channel. Just put Muck on mute and pretend you can't see him and just do your thing in chat and everybody's happy. One and a half by 3.5. For plain service, the rough cut is actually 2x4. You'll just not be able to find them unless you go directly to a mill. Okay, Dale. I was just talking to someone else about this the other day, though, because, I mean, I believe way back when that they were 2x4s. They were actual 2x4s. And I wonder if that causes a lot of problems when somebody is doing a rehab on a house. Maybe it's not a big deal. They shut down a whole town for asbestos. Wow. Yeah, I imagine there's still a lot of places you tear into the walls and that you'll still find asbestos insulation. You know, Cart, now that you bring that up, I will have to ask my niece what the lumber they are doing because, well, let me tell you, I love this story, and I think, Cart, you will appreciate this. If Nerdy is still listening, I think she will. My niece lives in upstate New York. Now, it's not nearly as remote as you and Nerdy, but they probably need to drive anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes to go pick up bread and milk. But they bought her, and I just say husband, although they're not married, but they've been together for, what is it, I think about 15 years now, and they have 4 kids. But anyway, they bought a whole bunch of property in upstate New York where they, and when I say they, I actually mean them and their 4 kids, have been building a new house. And the reason I bring it up is because of the lumber. The trees on that property were built back during the Depression by the WPA, it was called in America. It was a jobs program where, they hired people to do all sorts of public projects, working on roads and things like that. But what the WPA had done was they had planted up there in upstate New York a whole lot of trees that they planned to use for lumber. And of course, the Depression ended mostly by us going into World War II, which created a whole other set of jobs. And all those trees just got forgotten because the WPA was no longer around. So once again, there's my niece and her family buying that property like almost 100 years later, and there's all those great trees ready. And so the house that they're building is being built by the lumber grown on their own property, and her husband is actually milling all the planks himself and the beams and all that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to ask them. I forget who brought it up about when people plane their own what they're doing. I'll have to ask her what size her husband is or was. Actually, they've got the whole shell of it done now. They got the roof on, and they're kind of working on all that other interior type stuff. But it is a beautiful looking place. I love natural wood, and of course they've got lots of natural wood in there. The other thing I like about it that I think I'm not sure Cart exactly. I assume he must have gone up there and done all the whatever you want to call it, lumbering, the planing and all that. He must have done that ahead because you do have to let the wood dry. And there's another word I'm trying to think of that Dale will probably say, but season. You have to let the wood season. Is that right? Anyway, imagine he did that sometime ahead before they actually started working on the construction. The other thing I was going to say about it that I think you'll appreciate is they're going totally off grid. Of course, one of the things right off these days is you don't have to run a telephone wire or any of that. Yeah, or your TV is satellite, but they also decided to go solar power. And of course, they've got their own water source, and they are too far away from any other houses or anything that they're being forced to hook onto a sewer system. So, I believe they have their own sand mount. So, yeah, they are going to be totally off grid up there, which is cool. Typically, we've got at least a year to season. Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing, Dale, that's probably what my nephew did. He probably went up there and did all that lumbering work ahead of time. What's really cool about it, too, I love talking about this. I don't care if people don't love listening, but it is a whole family project. And, so it's one of these things, it's not being finished in, a month or two, like if you hired it out. But her husband flips houses for a living, so he knows how to do most of that stuff. He's been doing, almost everything on his own with help from family members and such. But he hasn't had to hire carpenters and plumbers and all that. But anyway, but when they started working on it, her youngest, the daughter, was like 4 years old. And you'd see pictures of all the kids doing stuff, and it wasn't like, how a lot of times if you're doing something and you'll give a kid make work, like, you'll say, oh, it'd be great as if somebody could go and fetch that hammer for me or carry this over. No, you'd see even the youngest was like, putting, I don't know, it would be like plaster or whatever it'd be, like on the side of the foundation. And, you know, their oldest, who now I think just turned 13 or 14, he can drive, the backhoe and stuff like that his father owns. So it's pretty cool. Let me see. And Steve had mentioned his entire city was destroyed by earthquakes 15 years ago. We've had to rebuild his city and replace every pipe in the ground. Some areas that were above sea level ended up below sea level. Yeah. Well, that is a good question, Kurt. Whether all types of wood that it takes the same time to season. After earthquakes, I went around collecting. I'm not sure what you're saying there. RIMU to recycle. Depends on the cell structure and moisture content. Makes sense. This is what I like too. It's funny. Some of these subjects that people might think are boring, it's interesting to learn about. I remember that night Nikki came in and she was talking about bees because she started being a beekeeper, and I was learning all kinds of stuff about bees that I didn't know. Oh, Remu is a hardwood. Oh, okay. I'd never heard of it. Although I must say, now, once again, when I was in junior high, which was 7th, 8th, 9th grade, I know now the standard is they do middle school 6, 7, 8, and 9 is actually part of high school, but anyway, when I was in junior high, it used to be shop class was required. And of course, at the time, it was like boys had shop and girls had home ec. And nobody ever thought of, what if a girl wants to learn how to, build a cabinet or something? It's like, no, girls belong in the kitchen. But anyway, in junior high, it was required class unless in 9th grade was the first year you could decide to study a foreign language, which the only language they had in our system was French. But if you took French, then that took the elective space that shop occupied. So in 9th grade, I took French just to get out of shop class. So yeah, all this talk about 2x4s and stuff like that, I know very little about. And whenever Dale mentioned about the grain and stuff, that's one of the things I can remember Mr. Albert in 7th grade, like showing us wood and explaining the different grains and stuff, and it meant absolutely nothing to me. I will tell you, my father was pretty much a handyman and could do all kinds of carpentry and plumbing and electrical work. And yeah, that is definitely something he did not hand down to me. Now, I did used to help my landlord when I lived in Pittsburgh, and I am actually great at, standing there and handing people the tools they need and grabbing the lumber they want and that. But don't ask me to cut a board because I will measure it out to 41 and 3/4, and somehow it just will not come out to that length. Everyone should have to take auto mechanics, wood shop, metal shop, and home economics. I understand your point, Dale, and it probably is a good idea for people to at least be exposed to all that stuff. You can't expect everybody to learn how to, add a room onto their house or, overhaul an engine. But I will go along with the idea that people should at least have a basic understanding of all those things. And definitely, the home ec also. Learn how to do basic cooking and stuff like that for yourself. So when you turn 18 and you get booted out of the house like some families do, you can get along in the world a little bit. Steve was a high school teacher, and we were not allowed to teach a lot of that because of computers. Now, see, there's an interesting thing. I remember when they were first getting into the computers in school around here. I was at the library at the time, and we had bought computers. But anyway, so the people for teaching the computer class, I'd actually forgot about this until you bring it up just now, Steve. In the junior high was the home ec teacher, who actually was a girl that was behind me in school, and we had classes together. The computer teacher at the high school was the shop teacher. So you could tell they weren't really taking computer science seriously, because they took the home ec teacher and the shop teacher and sent them away for like a 2-week seminar on computers and said, okay, you are now our computer teachers. Cart says when she grew up, they had to learn all that and thinks everyone should have some experience. And Cart certainly does know all that stuff. Because like I said, she's living out there in the middle of nowhere. Cart's nearest neighbors are, I think, in Fiji. When I was in high school, we had the option to take all those, and most students avoid them. Yeah, by the time 10th grade, shop class was totally an elective. And yeah, I can remember it was almost like a class system for a lot of people. It's like you had the shop kids and you had the academic kids. It's kind of like, but I mean, high school does have all those kind of clique things, because you also have the jocks, you have the band kids, and a lot of times you got spillover between them. I mean, we certainly had a lot of shop kids playing sports. But yeah, it's kind of I don't know. Sometimes we talk about like the stupid high school games, the way people would act and that, but yeah, a lot of that Yeah, still see it out in adult society too with the tribalism. Yeah, and like Dale says, he now makes a lot of money off those people who would not take the shop classes. It's kind of like the, what would you call it, like the blue collar version of Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah, Steve, I know that's what Cart was saying the other day, not about the air ambulances or whatever, but one of the reasons, besides just the fact that she likes it that way, that she grows pretty much all her own vegetables and stuff, is because for her, I forget, it's like either a 4 or 5 hour drive to go to the store. So, yes, it is a big country. In fact, it's its own continent. We have to build our own runways and keep it intact just in case. Oh, really? I guess that's true. I guess you're not going to have. Does Australia have provinces? Am I thinking that right? State? Is that what they call them? Like Western Australia or whatever. Those are states. But anyway, I guess they aren't going to be making the long trip out to your house just to level off the landing strip every year or whatever. Oh, yeah, Dale, that's the states and territories. Okay, yeah. You know, of course, like here, our bigger districts are states, and then you'll have like counties, or like down in Louisiana, they'll call them parishes. Um, but yeah, I was going to say, Dale, that's what you get paid for is the knowledge. It might not necessarily be something that takes a lot of work to change the hose going to somebody's washing machine that's leaking all over their floor. But you charge them for knowing how to change that hose. Well, our shop teacher was right-handed, missing half an index finger, so every time he pointed at something, he was shooting a bird. Ah, I realized when Cart mentioned landing strips that she was talking plane. I didn't even get the point that it would be because helicopters don't have the range to do it. Flying Doctors are a non-profit air ambulance health service, and they provide a great service. I contribute monthly to them. Now, that is interesting. So I'm guessing maybe it's a thing where doctors volunteer, like, 1 or 2 weeks a year or something like that. Hmm. I would assume that the pilots are probably year-round professionals. And once again, if Nerdy was in here, she'd probably tell you that large sections of Australia, it's the same thing that they would have to fly in to get somebody. Because I've been doing maintenance work my whole life and have had some close calls, but I still have all my digits. Oh, the flying doctors are employed, but I say the service is non-profit, but they do have then full-time doctors and all that they pay. Makes sense. Yeah. But still, though, you figure when somebody has a real emergency, like they just stuck their hand into a piece of machinery and they're bleeding real bad, it would still take a while just for that plane to get to them. It's a whole different way of life. Right now, if I grabbed my phone and called 911, there'd be an ambulance coming. An ambulance wouldn't be coming in, but the EMTs would be coming through my door in probably 5 minutes or less. That's a good question, Dale. I was just kind of getting around to that myself. How long, if you had an emergency, would it take them to get an air ambulance out to you? Oh, and Steve says they work from satellite hospitals. That is interesting. I did not know we had any hospitals in space. I am just kidding, of course. I am not that stupid. We're a flying doctor service has helped over 330,000 people since its inception. Yep. Now, CART is laying out the knowledge on us. Oh, I just noticed our crowd has gotten a lot smaller since I've been here, but that's okay. A lot of times, when I do these later shows, this is my favorite part, is when we get down to just a few people left and we can have conversations like this. People don't know what they miss, but you just learn so much about each other this way and how everybody lives and all that. Like I say, I've mentioned a couple of times, I really enjoyed that conversation the other night with Cart and Nerdy. Even though I was mostly an observer, but it just was a very interesting and enlightening thing, just the way that came about. It would take them 45 minutes to get to you. That's not too bad. And of course, that's one of those things that people like Cart balance out for themselves, whether inconveniences like that are worth the advantages to their way of life. Obviously, Cart thinks they are. This is when we can share our ideas and share our experience and can learn from each other. Yep. I do have to say, Cart, like I said to you the other night, I would absolutely love to be able to visit you and see how you live and all that. but I personally could never live like that. But I can appreciate the attraction to that type of life, which is kind of funny for me because I actually don't have a lot of problem being alone. I guess I just like that if I want to go to the store or something, I know it's right there available. It takes them 30 minutes to respond from 5 miles away. That's a pretty crappy ambulance service they have there, Dale, I must say. One thing I used to like when I lived in Pittsburgh, which by no means is a major city, but that suited my lifestyle a lot because I could decide to go shopping at 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff like that, which is a little harder to do where I live now. And yeah, I guess everybody sort of does their own balancing act where you say, you know, things like, do I want to be able to drive to work in 10 or 15 minutes and live in a loud and, you know, a noisy and polluted city, basically? Or is it worth having to take a 1.5 hour train ride every day to get into the city, but live out there where you got trees and clean air and all that? Ah, good question, Kuza. Did she grow up out there, or did she grow up in a more city or at least big town atmosphere and decide to go out there? Maybe she got dragged out there by a man and decided she liked it. Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, Dale, what I would probably do in your case, if you had someone that could drive, is when I called 911, I'd say, we are living here, we are leaving here right now in, a red Buick or whatever, and can you have the ambulance meet us halfway? Okay, Steve, thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming back. And yeah, we're just trying to figure out what time it is. Yeah, it's kind of the end of your day now. So we'll probably see you tomorrow. I am trying to at least do a daily live if none of the other guys happen to do one. I actually wasn't even planning on doing one tonight because we've been on longer than I planned today. But I took a nap and I woke up and I said, I'll go out and see what the folks are doing out there. And I'm glad I did. Yeah. I cannot believe that this one is coming up on 3 hours. That time has gone awful fast for me. Steve, of course, is being funny when he says, Cart, you are okay. Because we all know that Cart is great. Guys, I think we need a new subject. We've kind of said everything we wanted to say about lumber, carpentry, and electrical work. I'm really not all that interested in plumbing. We've talked about air ambulances and moose wrestling. Still not quite sure how Cart is doing moose wrestling, but that's, that's her business. You be you, Cart. And Cart is saying that Steve isn't good enough for her, but I think we all already knew that you're out of his league, Cart. Yeah. I think I'm going to go ahead and take my channel off the air. Nobody's been over there for a while. And I'm not sure anything's going to